for the Empowering You Show. This is a lively television show that is a driving force to positive transformation in every viewer's life. Our goal is simple. It is to elevate our audience members with clear, practical, helpful advice and engaging activities. We're here dedicated to sparking a journey of self-growth and empowerment, making sure each episode is a step toward professional and personal achievement. That's how we empower you on the Empowering You Show. So get ready, it's time.
You're on mute.
Well, hello, back again. You didn't hear anything I said, but that's okay because that's how life works, right? Thank you for tuning into the Empowering You Show, where we love to showcase people and businesses that are doing big things in the communities that they serve. And today is no different. I do not have my fabulous host. However, we're going to have a great time because I have a fantastic guest that is going to blow you away with all that she has to offer and her lifestyle choice. You just wait and see. We have Dr. Brenda Eaker, PhD. She's a sociologist, a speaker, a financial coach, and author. She is the author of Money Road Trip, Chart Your Course to Financial Freedom, and the host of Planet Smart Finance Fest. Dr. Brenda excels in guiding individuals to financial freedom, ensuring their journey aligns with their core values and life goals. As a climate steward, she skillfully balances wealth building with environmental sustainability. An adventure at heart, Dr. Brenda has been exploring the U.S., get this, as a full-time RVer since 2020. Whether she's roaming the countryside with her cats or anchored at her Southern California retreat, her lifestyle embodies the essence of freedom and intentional living. Please bring and help me welcome Dr. Brenda Eaker, PhD. Hello.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
First of all, I always wanted to live this tiny house lifestyle, right? In my mind. But then I get to the point where like, will it get old? But I love the fact that you said, full-time RVing, I get to see the world on my terms. Tell me about that.
It is, it's like nothing I've ever dreamed of doing. It's really hard to explain the transition. First of all, I lived in a house, and downsizing out of that house made me realize all the junk I had accumulated. I had one kid, and I ended up with 3 turkey roasters hidden in those cupboards. It's like, what is going on? And so, streamline into an RV, that was great. But people have asked, they said, what is it like? And I said, it's sort of, for me, a lot of times it's like I'm 6 or 7 years old. It's Christmas morning. I am racing down the steps to see what is under the Christmas tree. And that type of excitement that probably many of us sits on the sidelines for decades is back. The exploration, the exhilaration, the adventure. And you have to learn how to really love yourself.
We lost your audio for a little bit. I hope she's coming right back up though, because we need to hear this conversation.
You have to dig down. Okay, I lost you.
We definitely did. And you were right in the middle of something good. I know it was something good because I know there's a level of freedom that comes with that. So we lost you right around when you're talking about being like 7 or 8 years old and that feeling of adventure that happens.
Yeah, it's that that feeling like you're casing down the steps to see what's under the Christmas tree, and that's a bit of what this adventure has been like, to
Mhm.
bring back that child exploration and to be comfortable in your own skin, to be able to manage driving and living in a small amount of space and traveling and taking care of all the logistics, but enjoying your own company too.
Now that's awesome. Now, obviously, the other piece of that freedom is that you can't just be free here. You have to be free in the wallet. So that's part of why you do what you do, right? You would not be able to just roam around the world and travel as you please if you weren't financially fit.
Well,
Well,
that's true, but
not
there
comfortably anyway.
there there are so many people here on the road who are, if you have the internet, you can work
Mhm,
from anywhere. So I find all kinds of interests, and
mhm.
whether they have a YouTube channel or they've got a regular job, if they have the internet, they can do this. So I am financially free in regards to, I can pick and choose what I'm going to do. But I also find that this style is so rich in so many ways, but it's really, for me, very affordable. A lot cheaper for me to be living on the road than maintaining a house. Well, there's Isabella. There's one of the cats.
We knew one of them would make an appearance for sure, right?
Absolutely.
Now, how do they fare? Our producer wants to know too. How do the cats deal with traveling?
Oh, that was my biggest fear. I had started with 3 cats, and I'm like, I'm going to destroy their lives. And the first week was pretty scary. They had to find their hiding spaces. But I have, on when I'm on the road traveling, I have a catio. So there's a ramp that goes from a window into a tent, and there's a floor in the tent. So they can go in and out of this catio while I'm parked in
Get
here.
out.
Here I have a gazebo, and I turned it into a cat zebo. So they have a catwalk that goes all the way around, and climbing posts and steps to get down. They're spoiled. So it takes some adaptation. They figure out where their hidey places are. They're fine. And all of them have walked on leashes. So I could walk them, well, kind of walk them around in campgrounds too.
Okay, because I assume people probably have dogs and things like that, or whatever things that might scare them and make them run off. I guess is that the idea behind that?
Oh, with the
The
leashes?
leash. Hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want them to run around wild. I mean, we're at different places all the time, and
Hmm.
it's they don't go out on their own, except for Coco, who is also called Houdini. So I have to
Oh,
watch out for Coco.
I imagine with that nickname, right? But I want to get more
Yeah.
into this financial coach aspect. How did you start to decide even that you could not only could you do what you do, but I should be able to teach other people to do that as well?
Well, for me, I was downside out of a job when I was 30 years old. I worked at the University of California, and I was finishing my PhD at the same
Hmm.
time. So I thought, no problem, I'll get an academic job. And
We're definitely having an issue with audio.
okay, are you there?
Yes. Hopefully we're solid now.
So was 30,
Technology.
let's try it again. So when I was
Yes.
30, I was downsized. Took me about 3.5 years, full-time job.
Mhm.
I was in at the time, but I lived in poverty and got the career going. and I really made it my commitment to never live in poverty again. So I saved like a crazy person, saved and invested, tried to save and invest about half of my take home pay, which, it's
That's
doable when your
major.
take home pay is decent.
Mhm.
And worked in Williamsburg, Virginia for about 17 years, and that career suddenly ended. And I was in such a different place financially that I didn't want to go back into the same career. It was pretty high stress, court reform on elder issues, exploitation,
Mhm.
guardianship, conservatorships, domestic violence. And I
Mhm.
thought, I don't want to work for another organization. I want to see what I can do on my own. And
Yeah.
the key to so many opportunities is to have financial freedom. So can I
Absolutely.
primarily help women to, so they're not dependent, they have opportunities. So I
Okay.
became a financial coach, took training, and now I really just do group programs.
Okay.
So I have the Money Road Trip
Okay.
book and the Money Road Trip course.
Okay. Now, how long does your courses take? Is it something that you meet every week, or is it for a long day, or how's it work?
Yeah, it's an online self-paced course, so you can take it at your own on your own pace.
Okay.
And part of what we do as entrepreneurs, and I'm sure that you've managed this yourself, is you figure out, here's the business, how do I build the lifestyle that accommodates the type of business I want? And so for me, I would get off the trail. I'd be hiking this great trail, get off, come to my RV for a 15-minute discovery call, and find that the person didn't show up. And I thought, I don't want that for my lifestyle. And I'm very good at group programs and group coaching. So I've had to make some compromises, and I'm pretty selfish with the way I want to live now. I want to be out there hiking. I want to be exploring.
That is
Not
that
going
now
to
that's
leave
so
a trail.
major. How do you get that? I feel like as women, particularly, we tend to just give, 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 and be selfless. So when you say that, no, this is like hard line boundaries, I'm going to be selfish about how I want to live. Like, is that just a decision that you made all of a sudden, or what got you there?
It it was really that one experience of hiking and having to abandon something I was enjoying to come back for business and have a no-show. And
Mm.
I'm actually doing something really wild starting in 10 days. So I am putting the entire business for the most part aside, and I'm giving myself the gift of a sabbatical. And so I'm leaving, traveling for 4 months. And during that time, I'm calling it my shrewd holiday. I'm going to be smiling.
Ooh.
I am going to be hiking. I am going to be recording my 60-second videos. I am going to be exploring. I am going to be writing, and I am going to be drawing. And I've never done anything like this in my life before. It's always been about thinking out more products and trying to build an audience and business. And it's a little scary going in, but
Right.
I am committed this writing and everything front and center for a certain period of time because I can.
And you said for 4 months.
Yeah, I'll be
Do you
traveling for 4 months.
Do you feel like after a week or so that you might be tempted to go back and look at things? And do you have like this is going to be my way to say, up, stop. You're not supposed to be working. Do you have anything set
Well,
for that?
I set up something. I'm doing 1,000-mile quest. So this is
Uh-huh.
also helping me focus on my health. So 1,000 miles in 5 months. It's 200 miles a month, 6.5 miles a day. So I'm into week number 3. It's going really well. But the book that I'm writing is partly about this quest, but the quest I'm on is to change the way I think about success. Because in America, our idea of success is so narrowly defined. It's the job title, it's the salary, it's the amount of money in the bank, it's the status, the clothes that we're wearing.
Things,
It is
yeah.
so external. And so, when you have a business flop, which I have had, your self-worth just tanks. And it's like, you know what? I'm older now. My life should not be defined by how much is in my bank account or a job title. My life,
Right.
my definition of success has changed. And so I'm working on sort of this hike, and that helps bring clarity. And what do I want to be doing when I'm 70 and 80 and 90? I want to be writing. I want to be smiling. I want to be exploring. I want to be drawing. I want to be hiking. I want to be selling. How do I get that? Notice the business.
I love that, because I think if you're growing in the right direction, that is, the older you get, the more you value your time and how you spend it. And just making that decision to say, now, for 4 months, it's really going to be about me, because ultimately, I mean, it is your life. What advice do you have for someone who is, say, living paycheck to paycheck, right? What is like some of the first things that they could do to get on that road to financial freedom? If they have more, I like to say, more month than money.
Part is priorities. We live in this culture where we're supposed to have the big house and the new car. What are your real priorities? And when you start to align your money with your priorities and your values, you will find, there's money left over. But you can't have everything. You have to decide what is really important to you. The biggest advice, the only advice financially that you need, comes from 3 words: grow the gap. Grow the gap. You want that gap between your income and your expenses to grow, 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 grow. Invest and save the difference. You'll be there. If you were to put away half of your income, you could be financially independent, meaning you never have to work again, and you got enough to cover all of your expenses for the rest of your life. You could be financially independent in 17 years. 17 years. If you save 10% of your income, you are working for 51 years. 51 years at 10%, 17 years at 50%. So, there's obviously variance in between. But when you do the math, when affordable, I mean, my expenses are low, and I am living a more joyful life than I ever had before.
Oh, sure. I mean, you're meeting people from all over the world, I'm sure. And just hearing about different cultures and just seeing the beauty of the landscape that God has given us, it is hands down. You really can't put a price tag on that. And, but then you have that other part of the reality where you're trying to make sure that you have certain things, or that your kids don't feel that. And how do you get your kids to buy in to understanding that, life is so much more than things?
Well,
it's a tough situation. It seems tough. Apparently it's very simple, but it seems tough to have to explain to them that, this is the goal. And then the goal is about experience and enjoyment. And let's be truly happy and not try to compete. And, there's just that balance, if then you get scared because of inflation. And okay, so I save half of my income for 17 years. I could be financially fit. But then you have that other part. This is not me. I'm talking for the people out there that don't believe, right? But this is not me. That feel like, what if inflation is so major that I still don't have it? And then what will I do? I will have sacrificed for nothing.
There's So I actually have a money personality quiz, so you can
Mhm.
get through it to the link tree. Because
Okay.
part of our approach and part of what you out is based on our money personality set by the age.
I'm gonna need you definitely to
So
repeat that.
there are
It's set
4
by who?
personalities. Are we here?
You said the personalities are set by who?
Some say the personalities are set by the age of 7.
By the age
And
of
I have
7.
4
Okay.
different. So I have a little quiz that you can get to, and there are 4 different money personalities that I talked about: Voyager, the Scout, the Wanderer, and Globetrotter. So, like the Scout, a lot of women are scouts. They're taking care of the kids and everybody else and putting their needs last. And part of this is to recognize what is your money personality and then to use the tools that might fit your personality and to have affirmations. So, a scout, I'm going to
Mm.
say, look, tell yourself, I am just as worthy as everybody else. I am worthy of having financial freedom. So, part of it, understanding our personalities, we people who might have $5 million in the bank and they're living very frugally for whatever reason. It's partly that money personality. We have
Okay.
people who are globetrotters who spend every penny because they could be dead tomorrow. So a lot of this really depends on your personality. But once you understand that, you can develop the right tools. So, for instance, there's something called the anti-budget. A lot of people think of budget as a horrible, it's about deprivation. And budgets are about priorities. So an anti-budget says, look, you don't need the spreadsheet. You don't have don't need all these categories. You just need to know how much you're going to save. Put what you're going to save into a separate account and you spend the rest any way you want to. And that frees up a lot of people from this, oh, I spent too much on clothing.
Right.
Now I have to cut back on food. Anti-budget says doesn't matter what your category is. You've accomplished your goal. You put that money aside. Now you can decide, you can prioritize how to spend the rest. So there are lots of different tools that some work great for one personality. I like my Excel spreadsheets. A lot of other people don't. The anti-budget works. You can use an app that turns it into a game. A lot of people like to use budgeting apps. You use
Okay.
a tool that works for you.
Right. And you just have to really be open to figuring out which tool works for you, right? I like the anti-budget idea that because I feel like that gives you more grace. So you're not
Absolutely.
always focused on what you didn't do, but you're focused on what you did do.
Absolutely. So budget becomes a savings tool, not a spending tool. And it's
Mhm.
not about punishing, it's about rewarding yourself. And you really
Mhm.
forces you to think about your priorities. So I hardly ever go out to eat. It's not a priority for me, and I'm inevitably disappointed by the food. But if I'm
You are
offered
not
a
alone in
kids
that. You are not
ride,
alone. I say that every time I go out and I'm like, why did I do this? Now that's $100 that I spent and I'm so unsatisfied. You are so right. But it's the experience for me that for whatever reason I keep being duped. But you're so right. I definitely need to reprioritize. I guess I'm a cross between probably a scout and a globetrotter, just from what you said. But I definitely I'm gonna go onto your link tree to take this quiz and find out exactly who I am and yeah, get some tools in place so that I too can have the financial freedom that I deserve and my family deserves, to be quite honest.
yeah. I mean, it's opportunity. It allows you to make choices and put joy at the front and center rather than feeling Sunday night like, oh man, I got another long
Hmm.
week at the
Yeah. And we're really
office
just wishing the week
and
away. Yeah, can't wait till Friday. Can't wait till Friday, and then Sunday comes. It's like, oh, it's Monday. So we're losing out on all this precious time that we could have enjoying the
I,
whole process
uh,
by
uh,
dreading it. Now you have something big coming up. Care to tell us about it?
okay, I lost you. So the
You have
thing, meaning
something
the
big coming
ebook.
up. Yes.
So we have listening points. It's an ebook set to come out on Saturday, which is National Get Outdoors Day. And it's based on these incredible scenes that I have been able to witness. I started filming in March 2022. I there along a babbling creek, and I realized there's no human noise, there's no traffic, there's no airplane. It's just me and nature. So I recorded a 60-second video, put it up on Facebook, and people like, well, thanks. I really needed that. That was a great break from the day. And I started doing that throughout my travels. So now I've put them all into an ebook with links to the videos, and you find a favorite video, you can download it, and it has my narrative as well. As this is based on my RV travels, and to me, Parks is a gift for everybody who sits in that office and they're not taking their breaks. They're eating lunch in front of the laptop and they're stressed. And I wanted to, that was my life. And so I always think of myself as sitting there. I just need 60 seconds. Give me 60 seconds. I've given you 60 seconds. So, and beautiful, beautiful, amazing landscapes that we live in. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to maybe put one together, just the oceans or the rivers, because each one has a different melody. Bird song, the desert, the mountains. And so it's just a visual treat for yourself. And a big part of being outdoors is awakens all of your senses. So sound, if I would challenge you to do 60 seconds where there's not noise, not human noise. Take you a long time to find those 60 seconds.
Yes, because I would imagine, and this is just me talking silly, but I would imagine if I was in an RV and I'm out and I'm looking for these places to be, without human noise, and I pulled up somewhere and there was somebody else, I imagine I would be so annoyed. Like, what are you doing here? This is my space, So I guess I would have to go, I don't know, to a closet somewhere, put on the headphones and just totally veg out. We definitely need those times that we're just sitting to be still intentionally. And I know we find a million reasons that we can't do it, that we can't carve out 60 seconds to ourselves, which is ridiculous, right? Totally ridiculous, but we do it. We definitely make up excuses of why we can't do it. Now, I have one other question for you, and it's totally off the cuff probably. But I would imagine that when you were telling friends and family that you're going to live in your RV, that initially they probably thought you were crazy. But now that they see the quality of your life, I bet you most of them are envious, if not all.
It's interesting because it's a lifestyle that appeals to so many people. But I remember, I bought the thing. I'd never driven one, never slept in one, never been in one. So it's a little bit of a learning curve. And I remember a friend saying, well, what if you hate it? And I said, what if I love it? We don't know this until we try. But to go down that other end, and now I mean, I've been sitting here in this RV resort for too many months, and I can't tell you how excited I am to get the wheels turning again. And if I were to ever have a house, it would be a cabin, a cottage, a small place. And I'm really not interested. I mean, I can leave my parked here if I want, and I could travel overseas. A lot of people do that. Get myself a cat sitter. I have more freedom without that house than I ever did with.
Wow. Now, do they try to join you now? Hey, I want to hop in and take a trip with
Oh,
you.
I get visits on occasion.
Mhm.
I have an elderly mom, and I had her camping out with me, which is, she loved it. So this is a vacation for people, and
Mhm.
my vacation.
Now that you need on a shirt. My life is a vacation. Ask me how I can help you. My life is a vacation. Ask me how I know. I'm living it. I love that. I am so
Yeah.
happy that you joined us today, Dr. Eckert. This was like, it really changes and challenges your mindset about what's really important, what's really your priority. Is it the quality of life or the quantity of things? I love it. I'm so happy you joined us. Again,
Well,
tell us how we can contact you and tell us why we need to get this ebook one last time.
Linktree is probably the best way to see all of my resources. Money Road Trip. The book is very inclusive. I use so many different types of examples. You're going to see yourself in that book. It makes it very easy. Follow these steps, you will reach financial freedom. And then there's listening points, give you that chill vibe, relax, connect with nature 60 seconds at a time.
I love it. For 60 seconds, I get to be in the shoes of Dr. Brenda Eckert because her life is a vacation and I want mine to be one too, right? I don't want to be living for Friday to get here, So thank you so much for joining us. I'm getting the book, right? So I'm getting the book when we get done because I need to figure out who I am, out of the four and how I get on this road. Probably not literal. I'm probably not ready for the RV, but I'm definitely ready for my life to be a vacation. For a cottage. My life could be a cottage. Yes, that's it. So
There you go. Well,
Well,
thank
thank
you
you
for
all for
having
being
me.
out there. Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. It's so nice to meet you. I know it's hot out there, but your day is just getting started because it's only 9:32. But thank you all for joining us. Hey, listen, if you caught us on the replay, drop replay in the chat. We want to know where you are, where you're coming from. And thank you so much. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. You know what time it is. It's time for you to step into your greatness because the world is waiting for you. That's our time for the day.